Well, it was an entertaining one, but ultimately the Oilers fall 5-2 at the hands of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nikita Kucherov, big night for him at Rogers Place as the Oilers now hit the road for a couple of games. Tough loss to end this 4-game homestand. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola, Shawn, Belle, and Benny Thomson with you as we get you set to break it all down. Of course, GCL Diesel, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream post-game show and providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. Let us know your thoughts on the Oilers' defeat at the hands of the Lightning. Kucherov at 118 points. McDavid now at 116. Nathan MacKinnon 114, and then a little further back, Leon Draisaitl at 97. There is your updated point totals on the season. Benny Thomson, I mean, you said maybe some people wouldn't like it, but you're not going to beat on the Oilers tonight because you thought they had some spunk. I appreciated what they brought to the table. I thoroughly enjoyed that second period, I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you, Belzy, and our group chat, we're talking about it. I appreciated the feistiness in that second period, the response, because I mean we saw what on Thursday night when the Florida Panthers came in here and ran your show. It seemed like tonight they were pissed off and wanted to respond if a team was willing to take shots at them. I mean, Bouchard gets hit from behind. Connor goes after him. I appreciated that, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't hate their game tonight, guys. I'm not one of the people that can sit here and scream and do all this stuff when the Oilers lose every game. I can't. Some of y'all can. I can't. To me, when I see an effort like tonight, you didn't get some of the bounces. I mean, well, actually, the second goal.
You got one.
You got a very good one.
Something. Yeah.
But you hit a couple posts. I mean, that 5-on-3, Bouchard hits the crossbar, tie game. Instead, Kucherov's got a shorthanded breakaway and scores. Sometimes that happens. I don't expect them to beat Tampa Bay Lightning every time they play them. I'm honestly, I'm not that mad about their performance tonight. I thought they showed up. Tampa's a good team, man. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is.
Yeah. Bellsy with us now. What did you think of that loss tonight to the Lightning?
I thought the effort was definitely better. The way that they played, against other teams in that league, you probably get the win. Unfortunately, there was some, small defensive lapses and a couple lucky breaks that end up costing the Oilers. I mean, the play that you just mentioned, Benny, with Kucherov, where he comes out of the box and he gets a breakaway after McDavid tries to go, I think, 1-on-2 or 1-on-1, and there's a quick play and the guy gets a puck up, and then all of a sudden it's in the back of your net. That's a play that doesn't happen all the time in a game, but it's bang bang play. The one goal, I believe, Kucherov scored again. 3 guys got caught, puck watching below the goal line, and Ekholm was kind of cheating. He was looking and hoping for the dthe pass.
Yeah.
So he got caught kind of in no man's land, and then it's a turnover, and they pop to Kucherov, and it's in the back of your net. And that's a guy that you can't leave wide open in front of the net. So did they play a better game? Yeah, they did. Did they deserve maybe a little bit better against other teams in the league? Yeah. If you're playing against, a team in your division, you probably win that game. But when you're playing against the elites of the NHL, some of those things you can't allow to happen, and that's where maybe that frustration comes in, from fans. The feistiness was great, not backing down, because there's been a lack of a pushback from these guys, especially against the Florida Panthers. So that is something positive and something to like about, making sure that they had a little bit of togetherness, and they were playing hard for each other and sticking up for each other. That's kind of what I thought about the game. It sucks that they got the loss, and especially when you're battling for a playoff spot in your playoff life. So I can understand the frustration, but much better effort than you saw on Thursday.
All right, both you guys alluded to, where Tampa sits in the overall standings, one of the best teams in the league. Obviously, they have had their struggles coming out of the Olympic break, but, they're rounding into form. They look like a contender once again. Brian Swain sending in another great stat for us. He digs these up and shares them with us. Swainer sends this in, says, against the NHL's top 6 teams, Colorado, Dallas, Carolina, Buffalo, Tampa, and Minnesota, the Oilers are 2-9-3 this season, 0-6-1 at home, and they've been outscored 69-32. That's 4.93 goals against per game, and then 2.29 goals scored per game. I know, so good stat. Thank you, Swainer. I really appreciate that. And I know, we've talked about it on shows on our station. Fans of the team have talked about it. They've texted us saying, wait till the playoffs. They'll turn, they'll flip the switch and away they'll go. But that stat that Swainer just sent, to me, is super alarming. Now, I mean, it validates my instinct and my gut feeling towards this Oilers team this season, that I don't think they're going to go on a long run. I do think they're a playoff team. I think they're a good hockey team. I don't think they're elite. But to me, that is super alarming. I'll reemphasize that. What are you giggling about?
You just see Benny.
No, I didn't. Anyway, let me finish my point while you guys giggle away. But that's alarming. And then at home, really, that's where you need to be really good. And you can't get it done against some of the league's best. I mean, the record speaks for itself. So I don't want to be doom and gloom, but I think that, is a sense of where the Oilers are and what team they genuinely are. So again, I think 2-9-3 versus the top 6 teams. Sorry, Belzy, go ahead.
Yeah, you're 100% right. They're not good enough. And we talked about on Hello Hockey today, where it's like, you lost a lot of really talented players for whatever odd reason. So we don't need to go back diving into that, but you lost players and you lost valuable players to your team. And part of it is that you needed to get younger, and there's going to be some growing pains, and guys are, getting acclimated to the year, but that's just not the same team that you saw for the last 2 years. And yeah, that's not a surprising stat. No. Against the top teams, because I think you mentioned it 1,000 times, Tommy, you never thought this team was one of the top teams in the NHL, and that stat proves it.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to dump on them. I just don't feel it's there this year.
And I think that's why we get a lot of angry people right now, especially like talking about this team, going, oh, well, they're brutal, blah, blah. Guys, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Look at them on paper versus the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. I'm sorry, I'm taking the Tampa Bay Lightning's roster. I'm sorry. The Oilers this year aren't as good as the top end teams in the NHL. They're not horrible, I don't think. I mean, obviously their points aren't great. They'll most likely make playoffs, but I don't expect them to go deep this year. Maybe that's the difference, and I'm willing to give a silver lining for a game like tonight, because I just don't hold them to the regard of a Stanley Cup winning hockey team right now this year. But I don't know. To me, I have seen a whole lot more worse games than from the Oilers this year than tonight. I just ripped them for 3 days. All of Thursday night, all of Friday, all of today. I've been saying that was an embarrassing performance against the Florida Panthers. I'm not that mad after this one. It really it was they had looks. A lot of it, I feel like it's reliance on McDavid right now. It feels like kind of a one-man team. But obviously you're missing Draisaitl, so there's that. But they had some looks, didn't go their way. Tampa's a damn good team. They play really good defense, and that's the result. Is what it is.
All right, let's see what fans of the team have to say. You can text us 780-218-9999. Jump to the nasty chat. If you're watching over on YouTube, we appreciate that on this Saturday night. Byron getting in there, texting us saying, hey, boys, they gave them what they have, but this team is not to the level of the Lightning. Yep. There's no question who is the MVP of the league. Kucherov is on a different level. Byron from Winnipeg. Regroup for next year is what he ends the text with. Vincenzo getting in there. Vincenzo says, well, at least everyone else in the Pacific lost tonight. Thank God the division is Dog poo. Yes. Turtle Derby. I think 0 for 6 today. All the Pacific teams. I'm just going to double check. Nashville beats Vegas 4-1. Buffalo beats LA 4-1. San Jose falls 4-1 to Philly. Seattle loses to Columbus in Columbus 5-2. St. Louis beats Vancouver for whatever that means to anybody 3-1. And then Tampa beats Edmonton 4-2. So, yeah, nobody gained any ground. You could look at it as an opportunity wasted, but I don't know. That's a good Tampa Bay team.
I got a question.
Go for it.
Despite what we think of the Edmonton Oilers right now, based off their last 2 games, both losses, Florida Panthers, who are near the bottom of the standings, and the Tampa Bay Lightning near the top of the standings. Mm-hmm. If the Oilers make the playoffs, and they will, they've got 12 games left. I think they're like 6 or 7 points up on some other teams.
No.
Is there not a world where you can see them making it to the Western Conference Finals?
Honestly,
sure.
That's the scary part about this whole thing.
I think they would be the favorite in the Pacific. I think they are. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Oilers over the Ducks, and I'm taking the Oilers over the Vegas Golden Knights in the playoff series right now. I've watched both teams play the Edmonton Oilers. Vegas did not look good last time the Oilers played them. And the Ducks, to me, they're a young, high-flying offense team that I think when come playoff time, it won't suit their style properly. That being said, though, whoever they play on the other side, if the Oilers continue to play this way, won't look good. It will not be pretty.
Yeah. Honestly, Belzy, I have no clue how playoffs are going to go for this team. I think they'll raise their level, but I don't have a ton of faith in what that next level can get them. If they get hot and ride it to the conference final, amazing.
Well, yeah, and the reason I bring that up is because, once again, I get it. Like, we just lost. The game's over. There's a loss. There's an emotion to it. People are upset. But at the same time, you got to take a step back and you got to take a look. Okay, What are these Oilers? We all think they're not as good as they were last year or the year before, which is okay. We're all in agreement with that. But at the end of the day, they're in a bad division. Mm-hmm. They're second place in that division. Mm-hmm. If they get in, they have the experience. The core of their team has playoff experience. Like, you could still go on a deep run. Not saying that you're going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, but like, there's still a possibility for this team to get hot at the right time and maybe go, on a bit of a run. They just need to start playing, and they need to start getting some wins and feeling good about their games. Like, it can't always be the same conversation where it's like, hey, we didn't try, or we defensive lapses cost us this game. Mm-hmm. And that's what cost them the game today, is defensive lapses. Mm-hmm. Multiple times guys got in behind and they were just, they just weren't there. So you want to get rolling, and you want to feel good about yourself before you get into playoffs. So I get that frustration, but at the same time, like, you got to think, okay, if they can start to iron some stuff out, and they've been better defensively. I'm not saying that they're good defensively. Mm-hmm. They've been better defensively. Mm-hmm. So make sure you understand those words that I just said. Better defensively, not good. So if you can start to iron some of these things out, like, there is an opportunity for you to win the division. There is an opportunity for the Oilers to make a bit of a push in the Western Conference.
I wanted to ask you guys this. I'll put it to everybody watching and listening too. These last 2 games, and the results obviously factor in, but just the way they've played in these last 2 games, I thought today was better than Thursday night, obviously. Are you discouraged? Are you second guessing them? Or is it just, nope, this is kind of them? Like, does that affect your overall feel of this team after these last 2 games?
I'm not shocked by what I was a little bit with the Florida one because I just expected them to be Florida a little bit more ready. For tonight's game, I'm not shocked at the result. If they're going to give that effort, like, I expected the Tampa Bay Lightning to still win. The Oilers are missing Leon Draisaitl. Like, he plays such a big role on this team. Like, I understand, like, yes, like, you want to roll your 4 lines and all that stuff. You can throw whatever line combos you want. First of all, I don't understand why they switched him from the San Jose game and they still haven't went back to him. I don't get it. Why you switched the lines again today and Yeah. Anyway, the power play, you can tell is missing 29. 5-on-5, like Podkolzin and Captain, they're great, on the forecheck and stuff and whatever, but like they're not the same without Leon Draisaitl. They need him, right? So they're missing Leon Draisaitl, man. It's going to be tough down the stretch here. And I'm looking ahead here, because the Nash is talking about the schedule. They have 12 games remaining. 10 out of the 12 opponents could be a first-round matchup.
Right.
They're all against Western teams. The two teams that the Oilers couldn't play in the playoffs would be the Canucks and the Blackhawks. You got Vegas games, Mammoth games, Sharks games, Kings, Avs, Ducks. Like, this is where, in my opinion, you're going to be really able to tell what kind of team this could be in the playoffs, because they're going to be playing teams that they might face in the first round. They're going to be missing Draisaitl, all that stuff. So I'm very curious how the rest of the season plays out now. No more Eastern teams. You're gonna be playing against teams that are similar level to you, at least points in the standings. See what they do with it.
All right, go ahead, Belsey. Go ahead.
It's kind of a flaw. We talked about the power play of the Oilers, and you're missing Draisaitl. It almost points out a bit of a flaw in the over-reliance of Leon, Connor, and Bush. I know those are your best weapons. But being able, losing Leon, yes, it's a massive loss, but at the same time, you have enough good players that you should be able to rebound and be at least a decent power play. And they just haven't clicked. And, it's a bit of an over-reliance on, trying to find that seam pass to Leon in the corner for that quick one-timer, or back up top to Bouchard for the Bush bomb. But they need to iron this stuff out. So, hey, is it a problem that Leon Draisaitl's out of the lineup? 100% it is.
Yeah.
He's a massive piece. So I 100% agree with you, Benny. But they need other guys to step up.
Sure.
And it can't be a two-man show. 100%. And unfortunately, when it's a two-man show, you're not going to do anything. So they need to start getting guys into spots where they're getting confidence and they're starting to produce. Because if you can produce and there's multiple lines producing, maybe you have an opportunity to once again catch lightning in a bottle and go from there. But until that happens, you're always going to be kind of in trouble and fighting uphill.
I'm laughing. Roman Awanek, Maddie's dad, is in the nasty chat. He says, "Do they really have good players?" I think so, but not as good as before. I'm very deadpan. I can imagine Roman just saying it that way. Okay, and then I'm seeing this one from John as well. Can you clarify Scott Oak's comments about Leon Draisaitl during his rehab interview in Munich, specifically when he said Draisaitl hopes the Oilers go deep enough in the playoffs? I didn't catch Scott Oak.
Yeah,
I wasn't
either.
Yeah,
he was just talking about the interview that we've all seen on Twitter.
The one at the soccer game, right?
Yeah.
All I know, John, is that the plan, the expectation is for Leon to be good to go by playoffs. That's what I was told Thursday night at the game from Oilers staff. So that's not a concrete, hey, he's going to be good to go, or hey, it's late in round one, maybe round two. I don't know. I was just told we expect him to be good to go for playoffs. So I'm assuming that's the start of playoffs. What Okie said, I can't really speak to. So if people are wondering, maybe it was a bit ambiguous what he said, and it kind of leaves people wondering, like John there. I'm not too sure. Sig Dog says, what did Fried say? Let me know. Yeah. Fried had a tweet. Did you have it, Benny?
Yeah, he had a tweet basically just saying that even though that interview went down today, he is still, all he's heard is that the timeline is still the same. That if everything goes as to plan, that Leon Draisaitl will be ready for game one of the playoffs. That's what he's alluding to.
Okay, thank you. So that helps clarify. I appreciate that. John, I hope that helps, gets you a bit of an answer there. Let's go to, I don't know, do I go to Randy? Do I test it? Let's go to Andrew first. Andrew says the better team won in all areas. Kucherov is the best player tonight. I do not like the defense of the Oilers. This is still a serious problem. They are not going far in the playoffs, period. Very disheartening. Ryan from Sask says, Darnell Nurse's best game in a long time, maybe all year. Top pair was on the ice for all 5 Tampa goals. McDavid line didn't have their best night, but the opposition was really damn good. Overall, a good effort. Turning point in the game was the 5-on-3 and shorty. And then Ryan from SAS says, correction, Ekholm wasn't out for the shorty. Bouchard was. Yeah. Man, you can't give Kucherov a breakaway. Collingwood Rob texting in says, hey guys, the officiating in this game is garbage. How do you allow a clear cross-check to the best player in the world and then ignore another one when he is down? The ref probably made the same parlay bet and needs Tampa to win. I do. Collingwood Rob. Hope you hit that parlay. And then Norm says, would you rather go to the third round and lose or lose in the first round, get an extra month's rest and heal the body and minds of the players, come back fresh for next season? This team has played a ton of hockey in the past 4 years. Guys, what would you say? Belzy, you go first.
Well, I think you want to go as far as you possibly can go. Like, you get in the Stanley Cup finals or in playoffs, you want to win it. That's your goal. So you're this isn't the minors where you're sitting there and you're looking around the locker room and say, hey boys, are we going to go out in the first round, or so we, don't have to worry about paying extra money out of our pocket,
right,
or we're looking to try to get the big bonuses for playoff revenue. It's not one of those situations. These guys are, they get paid millions of dollars. They want to win. I know that McDavid wants to win the cup, so he gets into it like he wants to win. So it's going to be, if you lose in the third round, you lose in the third round. That's that's how they're wired. Yeah.
I mean, I think any playoff experience is good experience. I certainly don't look at a third round exit for this team as a waste of time. I think if you were to go play the Colorado Avalanche in the conference final, especially if you won 2 rounds, you can say, okay, we had a horrible regular season, but we can still kind of pull something together in the playoffs, right? So I think there's that. But I mean, obviously, I think if you were to say in this hypothetical, you are guaranteed to lose in the third round versus, guaranteed to lose in the first round, which one are you taking? I think you probably take the first round because they've played, like Norm said, they've played so much hockey. Give their bodies a rest a little bit. We've been saying all year, this year kind of feels like a step back year, and it seems like next year is the year to go. They have the cap space, they have all the assets to go make the moves to bolster this team. I think some rest would help with that, but I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't be too ticked off at losing the conference final. I mean, experience is experience. I think it's valuable either way.
Playoffs, who knows? As long as you get to the dance,
never know.
But again, I don't foresee or don't feel like they're going to be a team of destiny or anything like that. It doesn't seem like it's in the cards. And I keep hitting on it and alluding to it is they can't win games in a row. Like, they don't handle success well, and to me, that's not a good sign. So, unfortunately, there's bad signs, red flags, whatever you call them, along the way for this team. And I'll give them, they're a decent team. They have some studs, but overall, they're not where they were a year or two ago at all. All right, let's dive into the inbox a little bit more. Let's go to Conroe, Texas. Says, Tavi, bottom line is the team just is not good enough. Savoy and Podkolzin have moved forward this year, which is great. But name one other player that has outside of the top 6. Certainly no one on the defense has improved this year. In fact, they've all gotten worse. We've yet to shoot a puck in the net in the last 2 games. I can see Tampa going into Calgary getting beat tomorrow because that's just the way things are these days. Well, the Flames beat the Panthers 4-1 yesterday. So kind of funny how it went there. Let's go to this one. Every playoff win is a party of epic proportions. Worst take ever. That is a sucky fan. Which text was that in regard to? No name on that text, by the way. Thank you for it. Saskatoon listener jumping in says splitting 97 and 22 was a bad decision. Knoblauch won't be here in September. McDavid just indirectly called Knoblauch out. He's cooked, guaranteed. Okay, so I saw Ice Cube in our EST group chat. Made a comment. Do we have it? Did you guys catch it? I've been trying to read as many texts. I didn't see it on Twitter yet.
I haven't seen it on Twitter or anything. I'm waiting on the availability to come out.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on Twitter about it, but yeah, the Zach text and that text as well. I mean, I'm very. Oh wait.
Got it.
Rashog has a. Okay, yeah, Rashog has a tweet out. McDavid postgame Lightning. They've got a great system. They're perfectly coached. They all know what they're doing all over the ice. It's impressive. They're a great team. They're extremely well coached. They're extremely well organized. They are very, very rehearsed in everything that they do. It's very impressive. And when you break them down, they got a heck of a goalie to backstop them. I asked them how they can get to that place with their systems. That's a coaching question. You can ask Knobber that question. Obviously, we've been playing together a long time, and we feel like we're somewhat rehearsed and organized, but not to their level.
Oh, okay. Belle, how do you interpret that?
Oh, thank you, man. Okay. I think he thinks that there's they could be better on the coaching front.
And I don't know if Connor's willing to say that if he didn't get coached by John Cooper at the Four Nations and Olympics.
That's what I was wondering.
I think he sees.
I think he sees it.
How he does it, and he goes, "Wow, that's a head coach." And I think we all, I don't know, at least in my opinion, I think John Cooper's the best head coach in the NHL. And
longest tenured.
And I think
for a reason.
And Connor saw the benefits of that, of how good of a coach he is, and maybe this is now he's going to Edmonton now and going like, Knoblauch just simply does not hold a candle to him. I don't know. I'm putting words in Connor's mouth there, but that's a way you could read it.
Wow.
I'm seeing a lot of Banksy is going whoa, holy expletive. Bellsy, your thoughts on it?
Like I said, I think that's a very interesting comment. Tough. It's a tough comment, but it's fair, I guess. Like, because when you look at the Oilers, like, it's more or less the same mistakes that are happening, and at some point, there's got to be some correction coming from the coach. So I think it's fair, and I think he, like you said, Benny, he saw Cooper at the Four Nations, he saw Cooper at the Olympics, and he probably sat back and said, "Okay, like that's legit."
There is more of a there's more, what's the word? More plot. The plot thickens when it comes to the talk of Chris Knoblauch here in Edmonton, and in terms of how his longevity here. Like I understood the frustration with him throughout the whole season, but like I said to you guys, like I did not see him getting fired. But I mean, to me, there's more and more. It seems like every day there's something that comes out that goes, oh, if he gets fired, we're all going to look back at that and go, well, that was a sign, and that was a sign, and that was a sign. And
starts with Draisaitl.
Yep. And this is
right. His comments.
Yep.
Going into the break, yeah.
I think we would look at the post game he had against Florida and go, that just simply is not a head coach that's all there right now. You look at Connor's comments tonight. I mean, there's tons to go through this season. That's alarming.
Since Coffee's gotten here, I'm maybe looking into this too much. I don't know, but my observation of Chris Knoblauch since Paul Coffey has returned is he seems a little bit more on edge. I've seen people texting in say, you see the 1,000-mile stare from Knoblauch. We've seen him blow up a little bit more, get more animated on the bench. I know post-game people want to see more animation from him, and they don't necessarily get that, and they complain about it, and we get it. But I just, observing him, I go, those are not what we're used to from Chris Knoblauch when he's blowing up on the bench, and quote unquote blowing up, but getting more heated and things he's saying. And I mean, heck, even like last post game, his post game was bizarre. I mean, we were shaking our heads, scratching our heads yesterday going, what the hell was that? So bad sign.
It's going to get interesting around these places, this parts.
Yeah. And guess what? He's got 3 more years on his deal. So they might be paying him not to be around, which has happened in the past with this team. I remember at one point they had 3 coaches under contract, and only one of them was still with the team. I think it was Akins, Kruger, and Todd.
Yeah.
Around 2015, because I think Kruger had a couple of years left, or like a year left on his deal. Akins had a 3-year deal, and
they might have had 4 actually, Tommy, because Quinn might have still had some too.
Pat Quinn?
Yeah.
How many years did they give Quinn? I thought they only gave him like 3 or something.
Well, I know that because didn't they fire Terrific Tom?
Yeah, he had 2 seasons.
So there was a run there that they had like almost 7 coaches in consecutive years, like basically getting paid to not be there. It was a nice run.
Sure. That's one way to sum it up.
Yeah, I'll sum it up that way.
I remember that. So yeah, they went Mac T, Pat Quinn, Tom Rennie, Ralph Kruger, Dallas Aikens, Todd Nelson, Mac T again for a quote unquote a few games or whatever, and then McClellan, and then Hitchcock, and then Tippett, and then Woodcroft, and then now Knoblauch, and we're looking at Knoblauch going, this might not be good here. So that's all in 16 years. Well, 17 if you count like the first run of Mac T. That's a lot of bench bosses. Some big names there too, guys, like some all-timers. But yeah. All right, let's get to a couple more texts real quick. Then we'll get Belzy's thoughts on the upcoming road trip. Let's go to Adam from Lloyd texting in and says, better game tonight than Thursday, but that's setting the bar pretty low. Oilers were significantly outplayed by the 2 teams from Florida. 9 goals against, 1-4, and then the own goal doesn't count. That was something. Congratulations to Josh Szymanski.
Yeah.
They all count.
Yeah, a couple clicks.
Yeah, round of clicks for that one. That was amazing. Special teams have been garbage, and they can't score 5-on-5 either. It's wild how you pull Dry out, and the scoring just goes to hell. Minus the first game, he was gone where they put up 5, and then Knoblauch changed his lines twice, and they scored 1 goal. For expletive sakes, Knoblauch makes the guy wonder now how much different Gully made or how much of a difference Gully made on this coaching staff. Have a good night, boys. Adam from Lloyd. Appreciate the text, Adam. Saskatoon listener says, hey, you guys argued with me months ago defending Knoblauch and his job security. Your defense was his recently signed contract. Cates pisses away $3 million without losing an hour's sleep. Yeah, you know what? And we did make the case for Knoblauch. I mean, at that point, his body of work was 2 straight Stanley Cup finals. Sorry, go ahead, Belzy.
Yeah, no, I was exactly the point I was going to make.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. And like, I understand, early in the season, frustration, people not liking some decisions that Chris Knoblauch made. And there was a time where it seemed like he pushed all the right buttons. And then about midway through last year, I think it was around January, so people really started to question him. Then that got quiet because the Oilers got on a bit of a run. And then towards the playoffs, the noise came up again. And then in the postseason, at times, people were making noise. And then it kind of just started this year out of the gate where people were really questioning his decisions. And I mean, I was certainly giving him the benefit of the doubt early in the season because of the body of work in 2 short seasons that he did. And now we're seeing cracks. So there's no denying it. So what? We defended him back then. That was 5 months ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah.
Or we had the conversation, whatever you want to call it, argued back and forth, but it was worth talking about. It's fun to talk about, but yeah, I
mean, hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it?
That's what they say.
Right? It's the easiest thing to do is to go back and say, well, you did this and you did that. Well, yeah, at the time, hey, guess what? There was moments in time where it's not always just the coach's fault. Sometimes it's on the players. Sometimes the players have to show up and want to play. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the coach needs to be better. Like it's a hockey season. There's ebbs and flows, and sometimes guys are down and sometimes guys are up. And if you're trying to be impartial, you got to talk about it all. And it can't always just be like, well, man, the management sucks or the coaches suck or the goaltender sucks or the D sucks. Like, there's been a combination of all of it. It's been different times when different spots and areas have been garbage. So, like, I don't know. What do you want?
Saskatoon listener responds, that was 2 or 3 months ago. LOL. I had you riled up. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to get into. No, I appreciate that, Saskatoon listener, but it's just like, well, his track record is good. But you know what's crazy too? And I think Dusty and I laughed about this because we were looking at the Oilers coaching history, and I think Dusty made this comment. He was creeping up on like 6th or 7th all time on the Oilers games coached list. And it was like right around Tippett, Woodcroft territory right before they got fired. And I think Dusty said, well, it looks like he's due, or maybe past the point of no return. And sure enough, it kind of feels like it's going that way. So
we have McDavid's availability.
Okay. I hope not, just for the sake of him, and this team has consistency, but it might happen. I can't deny that that's not out of the realm of possibility. One really quickly says, do you change the GM and coach? Real quick, what do you guys say? Yes or no? One, the other, both, none.
I can't see a world where at least one of them's coming back next year.
I think
who's that? Who's crazy? Who that is?
Yes.
Who that is? I couldn't honestly give you an answer, but I don't see a world where both are coming back.
I think both have their flaws and both are at fault for this. I don't love some of Knoblauch's decisions. And at the same time, though, I also think he wasn't given a complete roster. I think Stan Bowman has made some ridiculously glaring mistakes in his time as an Oilers GM. I think honestly maybe more bad than good. And that's where we're at right now. So if I had to predict what will happen, if the Oilers lose, I think in the first or second round, I think now after I'm seeing everything, I think Knoblauch gone. But I think Stan's
that's the easy play.
It's the easy one. Yeah. It's the easiest one to do. They brought in Stan. I don't think they fire Stan this summer. I really don't think they do.
Can we just, if that happens and they don't fire Stan, can we just like stop bringing in small skilled players and bring in some I don't know, bigger, faster, heavier.
They thought they
maybe
had
a little bit more truculent players. That was a trade, so that's different.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, hey, Dixon's been good. Yep. He's been good. Can we get some more players that have a little bit more pizzazz to their game? I feel like and this is not disrespect to these players, so please don't take it that way, but the Arvidssons of the world, we don't need more of those guys. That's been tried. It's done. You see, and actually during the game, they made comments about Tampa Bay, and they're like, okay, well, Tampa Bay leads the NHL in fights. Yeah. And I'm not saying that the Oilers need to go out and lead the NHL in fights to be successful. But what I am saying is that based off the commentary that these guys were talking about, they're like, well, Florida was created because of Tampa.
Yes.
And the fact that Tampa was pushing Florida around for years, Florida responded and said, okay, we got to now develop this type of team. They're big, they're fast, they're physical, and they really don't take any nonsense. And if I'm the Edmonton Oilers and I'm looking at that formula, well, I've got to now try to beat Tampa Bay, who literally is that formula.
Yep.
Got to go out and try to beat the Florida Panthers when they have their resurgence next year, because you can't think they're going to be in the exact same spot. That's another team like that. Colorado Avalanche are trending in that direction. When the Vegas Golden Knights won, they were that team as well. So is it small skill? I don't know. Yeah. But I think there's a case to be made that they need to get a little bit bigger. They definitely need to get faster, and they definitely need to play with a little bit more snarl.
And to your point about the Tampa Bay Lightning leading the NHL in fighting, great point by the guys on the Sportsnet broadcast. They don't have a Delorier. They don't have a Reeves. They have a bunch of guys in there that will shed them, because that's just the culture they have, right? And they have a bunch of guys that aren't fighters necessarily, but will.
They'll fight you.
Yeah.
It's a rally today, right?
Yep. So I mean, Oilers have some, but it's still not up to the same level as those teams are. I thought it was a really good point. Like, the Tampa Bay Lightning birthed the Panthers is how it kind of came out.
Yep.
Two great teams. I mean, they've been money basically since the start of the 2020s. 4 cups between them in the first 5 years in the 2020s. Outside of Vegas and Colorado, it's been Tampa, Florida, and Vegas and Colorado, right? So pretty damn good in the state of Florida when it comes to hockey. All right, Bellsy, the Oilers hit the road. It's not going to be easy in Salt Lake City against Utah on Tuesday night, 7:30 puck drop, by the way, and then another 7:30 start on Thursday against the Vegas Golden Knights. Can you take anything from the way they played tonight and then say, all right, we can build on this against Utah and it should be successful, or do you have to wipe it and refocus?
Well, I do think you need to wipe it and refocus, because at the end of the day, you lost. And we're in a league that basically is about wins and losses. So you got to be able to wipe it, but you need to have that same effort that you did. And like I said at the start of the show, that I thought that they had a better effort. And if they had that game against other teams in the NHL, it's most likely a win. Mm-hmm. So we're now in a situation where you're going up against a team that is also fighting for a playoff spot. They're right behind you in the standings. Now, obviously, they're not going to cross over to the Pacific Division, but the point is that they're still right behind you. They're fighting for their playoff lives, and they're playing hard, and they're trying to get into the playoffs feeling good about themselves. So if you're the Oilers, it's not going to be an easy game. You're going into Utah. From all accounts, it's a great building. It's loud, passionate fans, just like there are here.
Yep.
So it's not going to be a cakewalk, and you got to be ready to go. And it's got to be a game where you're starting to have a little bit of a playoff feel to it.
The Mammoth, as Reid and Jay like to call them, are 1 point up on Edmonton after action tonight. 78 points through 70 games. Edmonton's still at 77. Bellsy, great work, my friend, and look forward to seeing you this week. Enjoy your Sunday.
Always a pleasure, boys. Nasties.
There you go. There's Shawn, Belle, our game analyst, helping us break down the Oilers' 5-2 loss at the hands of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Reid's Reid is coming up. We're going to go inside the Oilers' locker room right now. Let's hear from Connor McDavid. Benny?
Yeah, here's Connor McDavid from the dressing room tonight.
That you feel swung this one this evening?
Yeah, I mean, probably the 3-1 goal. The 3-1 goal hurts, obviously. And the power play, just don't score on the 5-on-3 and then get one up somehow there at the end. I don't know.
Pretty emotional game with some physicality, though. Did you feel you guys answered the bell and stood up for each other?
I like that. I thought it was a good response to the other night. Bit of a quiet night the other night, so it was a good response emotionally.
Even strength-wise, Connor, just what did you think about sort of the matchups tonight? Obviously it was lots of back and forth and powerful lines going head-to-head. How do you think that went?
Obviously, we're missing lots of guys and some pretty important guys. So, guys are stepping in there and doing the best they can. And I thought, they're obviously a great team. We had looks, and their goalie made a lot of great saves. Yeah.
Connor, you were a guy who's put up some pretty big numbers for a long, long time. You kind of look at that run that he's on, Kucherov right now, another 4 points tonight. He's got like 99 points in 46 games. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, he's playing great, obviously. Playing on a great team with a lot of great players over there. They got a great system. They're perfectly coached. They all know what they're doing. All over the ice, it's impressive. They're a great team.
Is it frustrating? Did you feel maybe you guys were frustrated tonight as far as you talk about what they were doing? Did they do anything to frustrate you or limit you?
No, I don't think so. I thought, playing against a team like Tampa, you're going to spend some time in the D zone, and we did that. I thought we were comfortable in the D zone and trying to score on counters and stuff like that against, but. I forgot your question. What was your question?
Just like that, their defending's hard.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're good, obviously. They're very good. As I said, they're extremely well coached. They're extremely well organized. They're very, very rehearsed in everything that they do. It's very impressive. Very, very impressive. And when you do break them down, they got a heck of a goalie to backstop them.
Is that just a bunch of time doing the same things over and over again? Like, how do you guys get to that, to be that rehearsed, to have that system you can rely on and all those things? Where does that come from? How do you guys get there?
Yeah, well, that's a coaching question. You can ask Nobber that question. Obviously we've been playing together a long time, and we feel like we're somewhat rehearsed and organized, but not to their level.
So you wake up in the morning, tomorrow you're going to lose any ground to anybody. Your thoughts on being in a division that's pretty forgiving right now?
Yeah, obviously we're fortunate to play in this division. A lot of teams are fortunate to play in this division. It's a bit of a pillow fight right now, but yeah, thankful obviously to not have lost any ground. That being said, we got to find a way to win some games here on the road. 2 big ones, obviously, against Utah and Vegas, and we got to make some ground too. So, yeah, good challenge ahead.
Okay, so there's Connor McDavid. I like the pillow fight reference. Yeah. That's a good one. Turtle Derby has come up a lot, and yeah, they are fortunate to be in the Pacific Division where no one's really running away with it at all. All right, as we get set to bring in Reid Wilkins, we will get to the turning point of the game, brought to you as always by our friends at the Say the Reid Sport Medicine Clinic. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Say the Reid Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.saythereidsportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I'm going to go with the shorty by Kucherov. Gets in behind the Oilers D on the flip from J.J. Moser there, and tucks in his 39th of the year. I mean, the Oilers got that first goal, and then in the second period, it was all lightning, really. And you know, they get the early one from Cirelli. Then they get the one from Gensel down low. Great shot by Gensel. And then Kucherov. To me, that one is the turning point because the Oilers really didn't I mean, they tried, but really, like, that Szymanski goal would get them to within one. But we're giggling about the Szymanski goal. Like, it really there wasn't a lot there. Like, Tampa had it, you know, and then they added a couple more with the empty netter. So to me, it was the 3-1 goal, the shorty from Kucherov at 16:58. That is your Advantage Sport. Say the Reid Sport Medicine turning point of the game. Visit them, www.saythereidsportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. They used to be Advantage Sport Medicine, and then they rebranded under the Say the Reid name. All right, let's bring in our Reid. For Reid's Reid, brought to you by Ewell, your power play specialist. Ewell has the gear you need for your next electrical project with 3 Edmonton area locations, and you can order online anytime at ewell.ca. Ewell, your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. Rick, you were in that scrum. You were asking McDavid questions. You know, we talked about the comment about how well coached and organized and rehearsed the Lightning are and what the Connor McDavid had to say. But I didn't think it was too bad. Did you see it as a shot towards Chris Knoblauch?
No, but I understand why it's going to be discussed that way. Mm-hmm. I think it was a compliment towards John Cooper.
Yeah.
Who is, I got to bring up, is he not the longest serving NHL head coach by a wide margin now that Sullivan?
Like him, Bednar, and Brindamore now.
Or pardon me, that's the wrong way around. Cooper since March of 2013, Bednar since August of 2016, and then Brindamore May of 2018.
Yes.
Those are the only 3 coaches who were hired in the teens.
Yep.
Then it goes Marty St. Louis, February of 2022.
That's crazy.
So, and look, McDavid's has had experience being coached by Cooper twice now. So I think he was complimenting him. I think he was complimenting the Lightning team. I don't think he said anything that's a revelation.
Right.
I don't think McDavid is saying that, and now people are going to think, oh, I better pay attention to this Lightning squad. They might be something. I mean, he said what we all know. Now, is it interesting that he said that? Sure. I mean, he used the term organized and rehearsed, which is pretty interesting. Probably worth. Have you run Knoblauch today?
Not yet.
Like he was kind of asked about that. I asked a question about them being organized and rehearsed, and he said he thinks the Oilers are, but they have some new players and they're missing some guys. So I think he was sort of giving a nod to the Lightning being an excellent team for a long time, which they have been. But, you know, when McDavid says that, it's going to bring up conversations about Knoblauch, especially when the Oilers are as underwhelming as they have been all season long. Like, let's face it, guys. Was this game 70? This was game 71. I mean, we talked about this last game. This is who they are. they generally can't beat good teams, or they generally can't beat teams who have their A game, right?
Yep.
So this is not shocking tonight. And I actually thought, in a lot of ways, this wasn't a bad game by Edmonton. Like, I don't know if they could have played much better. I mean, certainly Connor and Nugent Hopkins and Hyman were not at their best. But, I thought the team played hard. I thought the emotional engagement was there. I thought the physical engagement was there.
Yep.
I thought the fights were appropriate. I mean, they were in the game, unlike the game against the Panthers when they really might as well not even been on the ice for most of the night. Mm-hmm. I just think the better team won. I mean, if you look at these two lineups, if these two lineups, even with Hedman out, played the Oilers without Draisaitl, and plus even their depth's been worn down with Lazar out and Frederick out and Janmark out. If these two teams played 10 times with these two lineups, does Tampa Bay not win at least 8? Maybe all 10, quite frankly? I mean, they won
a bunch of them.
So they were the better team. The Oilers missed a big opportunity on the 5-on-3, and then you're right, Tom, the shorthanded goal made it a pretty big hole.
Dagger.
But yeah, I didn't think the Oilers kind of wilted tonight or weren't present in the game. They just were not good enough. They just were, in terms of, I don't mean they didn't try hard enough and they weren't good enough. The better team won the game tonight. I thought both teams played hard, and the team with the better roster won.
Are you discouraged? I asked Bellsy this. I asked everybody that's watching and listening. Are you discouraged with this team with 11 games left, and especially the last 2 games with what happened? I know you said, they're in it tonight as opposed to Thursday against Florida, but has it swayed your opinion of this group going into these last few weeks here?
No, not really. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm discouraged. I don't know if I get emotional about it that way, but I've just sort of accepted who they are.
Yeah.
They're barely above average, if above average at all. And they just are kind of a plain frustrating team, I guess.
Fair.
I mean, where are they in points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
They have to
they're 17th in points.
Yeah.
So if the playoffs were 1 through 16, they wouldn't even be in a playoff spot right now. I just think this is not going to be a year with a lot of magic, and I'm always the first one to say the playoffs are a different game. Everybody's record resets and crazy things happen in the postseason. I've been saying it on my show, guys, that I mean it. If Winnipeg makes the playoffs, watch out. That's a team that could totally turn their season around. Winnipeg, Colorado, I think that's the worst possible matchup for Colorado in the first round. If Winnipeg gets in, right? The Oilers are
5 points back.
Are still likely going to get in because no one in the Pacific Division ever wins.
Nope.
But
Especially
it's just at the point where it's hard for me to see this team putting together something magical in the playoffs, even with the prospect of playing 2 other pretty flawed teams in the first 2 rounds. What is it about the Oilers that you think is there, but they're not getting to? I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe they have.
It's not. Yeah. This isn't that. Let's look at 2024. This isn't that Connor Brown all of a sudden starts scoring occasionally and finds a role as a third liner. This isn't adding Adam Henrique, who 2 years ago was a perennial 20-goal scorer, and he kept scoring at that pace once he joined the Oilers.
Yep.
Yes, they'll get some injured guys back. Clearly, Draisaitl not playing.
Yep.
Who knows if Draisaitl plays tonight? Maybe they find a couple on the power play and win it 3-2 or something like that. You never know. But what is it about this team that even winning 4 out of 7 games is quite difficult for this team?
Yes.
So what are they in?
Yes.
So they just had an 8-game stretch. They went 4-3-1, so that's not great. And on 4 occasions, they played like a big boy team, like a contending Stanley Cup team. I should correct that because Florida's not in terms of the standings, but in terms of the rivalry. So they lose to Tampa Bay, they lose to Dallas. They did beat Colorado. That's their best win of the year. Then they lost to Florida in a game that we all hoped they were going to be up for. So in those 8 games, they have one win in a game in which they could have made a statement and made people like me maybe believe a little more. And let's factor in something else, guys. Even though his stats are average or below average, Connor Ingram's giving them the best goaltending they've had all year.
Yes.
And they're still losing almost half the time when he's in. And that's not on him. But again, even though he's an improvement, he makes some important saves, and he did again tonight. The Oilers often give up too many chances, or we're just seeing that he's like a good goalie, but not a great goalie. And some nights good goaltending is good enough, and sometimes he has been great. So it's not as if there's a Rolison run in the wings, right? Like I don't see there being a Connor Brown or a Pisani coming to life in the playoffs. I don't see some third line emerging that's going to be incredible on the support scoring. So I'm not saying I'm discouraged. I'm just sort of coming to accept the reality that this is just who they are this year.
Yeah. No hope for Max Jones, huh? That's disappointing. Kidding.
Well, at least he's around the other team's net sometimes in the offensive zone, but yeah.
I'm chiding. You know that. It's Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell. You can text us 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat. Twitter Mary texting says, if you don't assemble a better team, then you don't give McDavid or Draisaitl anything to work with in the future. You can only coach the players you're given. The coach has always been sacrificed quickly with this organization when management continues to be a revolving door of good old boys who do their jobs poorly. The best players in the world deserve better management. That's from Twitter Mary. Let's go to Jill. Jill says, that was a solid game. The refs tilted the ice, and Tampa's goalie was great. I'm not mad about this one. I am mad at the headshot against Bouchard not being called. Yeah, he took a tough shot there, but bounced back up, and it kind of sparked the team too. I kind of enjoyed that to see them get a little feisty in the second period. All right, Reid, take a peek ahead to the 2 games coming up on the road. The Mammoth, as you so eloquently put it, on Tuesday, and then the Golden Knights on Thursday. Oh,
you are muted, Reid.
Are you okay? What happened?
Did you unplug something? Did you
unplug your mic?
Did you change
What's
your
going
settings?
on there? I like how he's not even trying to answer or say anything.
No?
There we got you.
Yeah,
hello.
It keeps knocking out my my headphones and my mic. Don't be doing anything. Do you have me now?
We have you loud and clear, big boy.
And now we don't.
Oh, and it kicked out again. Reid, use your hand gestures. No, it kicked out.
It kicked out again.
Kicked out. Do you wanna just say goodnight?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, there you are.
Is it back?
You're back.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Well, yeah, I'm interested to see Utah play and how the Oilers can do against them. I do think that's a dangerous opponent, but maybe certainly a step down from Tampa Bay. I mean, and then you got Vegas, who everybody beats. So I mean, they got to win at least one of these 2 games.
All right, big boy. Great stuff. That suit looks awesome.
I don't know if you have me or not.
I have you. We got you. Yep, you're good. Good work tonight. We will see you on Monday. You can't hear you. All right. There's Reid Wilkins with Reid's Read, brought to you by Ewell. Good stuff from Reid. If you could hear him, finally, he brought it. He brought it tonight for sure. Also, Ewell. Your Edmonton-based partner in power and source for all things electrical. I think Dave from Ewell gets in on the nasty chat every now and then, and he texts in. So if he's watching today, hello, Dave. Hope you're doing good. Okay, Benny, do you want to run a clip or do you want to do player of the game?
Let's do player of the game. Why not?
Okay, do player of the game, then we'll hear Knoblauch, and then
Let's do it.
read some text and call it a night. It's already
Alrighty.
pretty late.
The David Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. David Bunting has been a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for almost 20 years. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home. Community driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. I'm gonna do it, even though we've giggled at this all night. Josh Szymanski, first NHL goal. You gotta be proud. I mean, kid from Germany. Honestly, I haven't minded his game. I think he's developing into a pretty solid NHLer. He's solid in his own end, big guy. I think we were all waiting to see when that first one would fall for him. It fell for him in a very lucky way today, you could say. So I don't know if he would take that as his first goal. I don't know if he would say yes, that's how I'd want it to happen.
You take it. And then you tell your kids and your grandkids that you fired a laser on Vasilevsky.
Well, now there's the internet now, and they can go look that up and see he didn't even touch the puck 30 seconds before it went in. Honestly, I'm just gonna give it to him. He's been playing pretty well as of late, and gets very lucky with his first NHL goal, but good for him. It's not a lot of people can say they've scored in the NHL. He can now say it. So.
There you go. Josh Szymanski is a Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting now with the agency. All right, let's go into the Oilers locker room. Let's hear from Chris Knoblauch. I guess the Hall of Fame room technically, but let's hear from the head coach.
Break that game down. Was it too simple to say everything turned on the 5-on-3 and subsequent goal?
Well, I think they were better in the second period overall. I liked our first and our third was pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. Special teams were a big part of the story tonight. We had an opportunity to tie the game with a 5-on-3 with a minute plus, and we had two really good chances. One that went off the goal post. We don't score it, and then, we can't give up a shorthanded goal there. And then, they have that 2-goal lead. They're the best defensive team in the league, and we're down 2 after that shorthanded goal. It's pretty tough to come back from that.
It's a rare night where your top line and your top D pair really, and if you're just looking at shots, it was heavily slanted for the other team. That doesn't happen very often. The rest of your lines are actually really good. How do you weigh that when you're looking at line changes in the course of the game? Do you sense that it's kind of an odd off night for that line?
Yeah, I think that those 5 guys weren't at their best tonight, and so often they are our best players. Tonight, they weren't. I know they would want more out of themselves, and it happens. They get the toughest matchups. They played against some really good players tonight. Tonight we just couldn't get much from them.
Sorry about that, Reid. McDavid mentioned, just talking about the Lightning, how organized and rehearsed they are. They've been together a long time. Is that level of organization and rehearsal lacking overall in your game compared to what this team has done the past couple of years? Are you still trying to get back to that level?
I don't think so. I think the organization is fine. We've got a lot of new players right now with the injuries that we have. We've got some turnover. I think they had, obviously Hedman being out. They've been together for a long time, the group, and, our core guys have been together for a long time too. So, when things are going well, it looks organized and they're playing well. So, but they got a lot of good players.
The 5-on-3 there, how big a swing is that in a hockey game when you ring a post and then back the other way, and that feel like a pretty big moment?
It was, and that was our opportunity to get back into it, to, our power play's been so key. When you look at how many power play goals we've got this year and at key times. Tonight was one of those key times that could have really changed the course of the game. Not only getting one, but possibly getting two during that power play stretch. And then you end up being minus one during that. And, that's disappointing. They scored on their first power play, and, we weren't able to capitalize.
Your captain called the Pacific Division a bit of a pillow fight. You wake up tomorrow morning, you didn't lose any ground. Today, didn't gain any, didn't lose any. Your thoughts on at least being in a division that keeps giving you a chance to find your game here?
Yeah, it's we're very fortunate. The teams that we're battling with are losing. These 2 nights in a row that we've lost, and pretty much everyone else we're battling with have not gained any ground on us. And we've got a lot of games against those teams, so we're going to need to win those. Anaheim, LA, those games. But it's nice that we lost a game in our schedule and we didn't lose any ground. But certainly it was a good opportunity for us to win and really move ahead.
Chris, I know it's a tough loss for your team, but the Murphy-Nurse pairing tonight was very good. Very good against the Kucherov line. You played in the most minutes against them. Are you seeing kind of a continuity being built between those two?
Well, they're two two big guys who are difficult to play against. They're physical. They cover a lot of area, and they're pretty good puck movers. They can get the puck up ice, and not that they're going to beat anybody one-on-one, which few defensemen can do that, but they're efficient at that. So they're starting to develop some chemistry. And if we can use those two as a shutdown pair and play against other teams' top lines, especially lines that have got some bigger size, like to hold the puck down low, but some skill also, I think that's a good pair.
And do you have an update?
Okay, there was Chris Knoblauch speaking to the media following his team's 5-2 defeat to the Tampa Bay Lightning. A little bit of solace in everybody losing. I guess you kind of you could see him chuckle there a little bit, but the organized and rehearsed thing, the Oilers just aren't there. They're not on the same pages or the same level as Tampa for sure. Benny, anything really stick out to you from Knoblauch? He seemed reserved and just accepting of what happened tonight.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what I see. It feels like he was kind of one of us there, where it was just like, they were just better. And that's just all it was. I give him credit for he highlighted some of the good spots that the Oilers had tonight, because I didn't think it was all bad. I thought it was a much better game what they played against Florida. But like we've talked about all post-game show, doesn't really matter when the other team's better than you. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are a better hockey team right now. So that's bottom line. It is what it is.
All right, I'm going to read a couple of texts. OVP Edmonton says, interesting to me, being in the media production industry for the last 25 years, camera guy and interviewer, is that McDavid was asked about Kucherov, went out of his way in his answer to talk about the coaching, unless there was a question we didn't hear before that where he was asked about coaching. It's a bit strange that he went there in his answer. He could have just complimented Kucherov, left it there. He opened that can of worms about coaching, and the other reporters jumped on it with follow-ups about it, as they should. Just interesting. Maybe nothing but frustration, but I'm with you guys. This just ain't the year. Big offseason coming up. That's OVP Edmonton. Second ever text. Appreciate that. And a fellow Nate grad. All right, let's go. Oops. Hey, all right. Conroe, Texas had a question. He says, sorry for double dipping tonight, Tommy. No, don't be. I had a thought. Why is Ike Howard not on this team? Dude is a natural goal scorer. At this point, just seems like the obvious choice, yet they still overlook him. Maybe I'm overthinking it. No, I think that's a fair question. I think they wanted to go with experience and size and strength. And Yarventi's a little bit older. He's played some NHL games. He's been playing well in the minors. He's a bigger guy. Obviously, Max Jones has some sandpaper and grit to his game. Obviously, not as much offense. I think that's where they want it to go is size and grit. And then Howard, when the time comes after putting in his time in the minors, I think will be, a scorer, or that will be his chance to blossom, if you will, the way Matt Savoy is kind of doing it right now. That's my take on it.
I agree with you there. And, I'm not going to sit here and say that Jarventi's like fantastic defensively or anything, but I like we've said, like the young guys on this team get rewarded when they're good defensively. And Howard, pure goal scorer. And yes, this team could probably use some depth scoring. I think with how much we've been talking about how much the Oilers have struggled defensively, I think he's worried that if he brings up Howard and gives him minutes, that he won't be able to hold his own in his own end, and they're going to be still having to deal with this defensive issue. So that's how I see it.
Sure.
I'm with you there, but it's probably what's leading to it. But I have time for Ike Howard. Honestly, they need some help on the scoring side with Draisaitl out. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Well said. Mike from Calgary says the coach didn't trade Skinner, Kulak, +++ for a downgrade, but the Oilers will Oiler. Thank you, Mike from Calgary. Yeah. Coach Mike chimed me and says, what noise in the playoffs last year? After starting the playoffs 0-2, they went 12-2 until the finals where they ran into a juggernaut. The roster Knoblauch has been given has progressively gotten worse. That's from Coach Mike. And Stupid Peter says, McDavid a coach killer? I mean, I've brought it up before, but I would just put it on him. They have gone through a lot of coaches. Now they also have an owner who pulls the trigger pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They've gone through a bunch of GMs, presidents, CEOs, whatever, whoever's running the team at the time. I mein, they run things interestingly. That's for damn sure. All right, Benny Thomson, final thoughts from you, my friend.
I mean, again, to me, not all doom and gloom tonight. I thought, if this was the type of game they played against Florida, I'd be saying the same thing. It was like, dude, I thought they gave it a good effort. They just lost to a better team tonight in Tampa Bay Lightning. Maybe they beat the Panthers if they gave this effort on Thursday. But maybe. Overall, man, I mean, this is going to be the most important stretch of the year. I understand. Of course it is. They're not guaranteed a playoff spot. They got 10 games left, but these are all against teams that are on your tail or ahead of you, or just guys that teams that you might play in the playoffs. So I think you're really going to see what this team is really made of in this final stretch here. They don't have any room to screw around in these next 10 to 12 games.
11
here.
games,
they got to make sure that they take care of business. Let's be honest, outside of the one Colorado game, you're not really playing any juggernauts. Like you are playing teams that are around your skill level.
Yep.
Show that you're better than them.
Take it from them.
Yep. That's how I see it.
Well said, Benny. The Oilers back in action Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. That is against the Utah Mammoth in Salt Lake, and then they go Thursday night at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas against the Golden Knights. Very crucial week coming up, and then it wraps up on Saturday, 1:30 p.m. against the Anaheim Ducks here in Edmonton. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. The Oil drop a 5-2 decision to a better Tampa Bay Lightning team. They will refocus as they hit the road for 2 and set their sights on the Mammoth Tuesday night. For Benny Thomson, Shawn, Belle, and Reid Wilkins, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you for being with us tonight on iHeart, TuneIn, of course, YouTube as well, or maybe you're watching later on or on a podcast tomorrow, Sunday. We appreciate it so very much. The Oilers fall 5-2 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Have a great night, everyone.